Ever notice the moment you choose restraint, not react, not say what you could have said, the battle doesn't start right then? It usually happens later, when you're by yourself, no pressure, no audience. Your mind starts questioning whether you made the right decision or not. And I know this feeling firsthand. This happened years ago, like 13 years back. Community barbecue in the hood, middle of the summer, easy, 200-300 people out there. Music playing, kids running around, everybody outside. I get into it with a dude from around the way. It turns into a rumble, and I'm whooping his ass. While everybody trying to break it up and hold me back, his mans, might have been his cousin, sneaks the shit out of me one good time. And I felt that. And this is all happening in front of hundreds of people. So I'm hot, like different type hot. My OG grabs me, pulling me to the side, talking in my ear, trying to calm me down. But I'm not hearing none of that. All I'm thinking is, I gotta spin back that night. Like, walk him down. That was the type of energy I was on. Something told me chill. Well, at least till things cooled off. 300 people out there. That's 300 witnesses. If I did some dumb shit, it was coming back to me immediately. So I held off. The next day, my OG called me. He like, yo, somebody shot the fucking strip up last night. Sound like DMX and shit. Shout out my OG Kimo Sabi. But he like, somebody shot the strip up last night. And the strip, that's pretty much where those same dudes trapped at. Then he said something I never forgot. He said, God sent somebody to handle that for you. And that stuck with me. Because if I would have went back out there that night with all them people, all that emotion, my life would have been a completely different direction. I still got questioned about what happened. I still got interrogated, but it wasn't me. But that moment stuck with me because it made me realize how close I was to doing something I can never take back. Here's what most people don't realize. That moment I just described, it wasn't about where I grew up. It wasn't about violence. It even wasn't about that situation. It was about what happens after you show restraint. Because this happens in way more places than people want to admit. When you don't send that text, when you don't fire back in that meeting, when you don't respond knowing that you had the perfect comeback that would have stung, when you choose to walk away instead of doing or saying something that would have fed your ego for a second but cost you in the long run. Those are all different situations, but it all leads to the same internal shit. And if you ever held yourself back, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Later on, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't make you feel calm. You know, after you do that, you feel off. Your mind starts replaying it. What you could have did, what you should have said, that little urge to go get your lick back, all after the time had passed already. Nobody talks about that part. And this is where people mess themselves up. Because when you do the right thing, but still feel off afterwards, your mind doesn't recognize the growth yet. It just recognizes the old version of you. The version that reacted fast. The version that felt powerful in chaos. The version that never had to sit with discomfort. So when that voice tells you to go back, to say something, to prove something, that's conditioning. If you don't learn how to sit with that discomfort without acting on it, you'll continue to see self-control as weakness and discipline as lack of freedom. That's why most people slide backwards, thinking they're standing on principle. Here's the part you gotta understand if you're serious about growing. That discomfort you feel after choosing restraint, that doesn't mean you messed up. That's the gap. That space between how you used to move and how you're trying to move now. Your mind ain't used to it yet. Your body ain't used to it yet. They're used to quick reactions, used to instant release. used to doing something instead of having to sit with it. You don't react, don't clap back, don't move the old way. Everything in you starts pushing for relief. And if you keep running back to what feels familiar every time you get uncomfortable, you'll never give the new version of you time to set in. Self-control isn't passive, it's active. It takes more strength to sit with that urge than it does to act on it. That's the real work. And that pressure isn't a warning sign. It's just familiarity talking. Here's the truth most people avoid. Growth feels uncomfortable before it feels normal. Self-control feels awkward before it feels good. Not proving anything, not correcting the moment, not feeding the ego, but letting old habits lose their grip without going back to them every time they call your name. That's how real change happens. So next time you feel that urge creeping in, or that pressure to go back and fix something later, pause and ask yourself one question. Is this protecting my future or feeding something familiar? You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be honest. Survival got you this far, but growth happens when you stop answering every impulse. Make sure you subscribe, and if you want help breaking out of those old patterns and reflexes, tap the links in the description. Grab the free 3-day reset, Hustler's Blueprint. Short, it's practical, and it shows you how to start rewiring these things in real time. Be destroying the program one decision at a time. And until next time, stay true.